Good morning, everybody. Crafting Journey here, that Journey Chick over on Instagram. Hey, the jury has reached a verdict in the William Husel case versus the state of Ohio, or Ohio versus the state of Ohio versus William Husel. This is the fentanyl murder cases where Dr. Husel was charged of 14 counts of murder. Now, the verdict was read in court about 50 minutes ago, maybe an hour ago. I was sleeping. Yes, I do a lot of sleeping. As most of you know, I'm recovering from knee surgery, and I do a lot of sleeping. So I still wanted to bring you the verdict. Good morning, Jerry. Good morning, Camilo. So if you guys already know what the verdict is, please keep that to yourself until after everyone sees it. I did want to show you the verdict, even though it was read in court over about an hour ago. I'm going to have it read in court here for the channel so that people watching back on the replay, don't forget #replay, can see what the verdict was as well. How are you guys this morning? Let me pull up my my thing here. We're going to wait till we have a few people in, and then I will show the reading of the verdict. Now, I'm not going to tell you what it was. I know what it was because that's what I woke up to this morning. Yep. Oops. Yeah, I followed this thing for how many days? Jury verdict watch for 5-6 days. Wait a minute. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4, 5, 7 days. And of course, when the verdict comes back, I'm asleep. Oh my God, you guys should see the weather here. It's ridiculous. It is cloudy, rainy, stormy, and cold. I don't know how to dress anymore in the mornings when I get up. It's ridiculous. All right, let me turn the volume down, come into the, is that the right, do I even have the right thumbnail up? I think I do. Oh, it's supposed to be on part 3. Well, that's all right. This is part 2. Yeah, no, I got it right, part 3. Okay. So, I think most people may have already heard the verdict, so they may not want to come in, but I'll chit chat with you guys for a little while. How are you, Jerry? Good morning. I haven't even had my coffee yet, but that's okay. I got to go to physical therapy here in a couple of hours. Yeah. I have that thing on my phone where it changes angles all the time. Oh, good. I'm glad you're well. I'll wait for a few more minutes. I suspect most people have already heard. Mickey, you did not miss a thing. Well, we all missed the verdict, but I'm going to go ahead and show it so that we have the reading of the verdict on the channel. And the verdict was read in open court about an hour ago, but I'm going to go ahead and show the replay of it. So I have it for the channel. And so you guys all know. If you don't know, it'll be new to you. And if you already know, don't tell anybody because it'll be a complete surprise. What do you guys, I know what your guys' guess is. I was guessing hung jury. My God, they deliberated for so long. Oh, there must have been a holdout. I'm thinking 1 or 2 people that just did not want to change their mind. You know, I'm walking around now on this knee. Most of the time without a cane because the cane is, I just never know where it is, to be honest with you. I forget where I put it. But oh, my back and my hip hurts. Is that weird? I need to send one of those handsome guys over that gives massages, please. That would be fun. All right. I was going to wait for a few more people. We got 6 people watching. Don't forget to give the thumbs up on your way in or out today. Because the like button is just not used to getting hit. I gave him 2 weeks off. So let's hit the like button. You are using muscles that you never knew you had. You're right, Jerry. And I think that, well, because I take the Percocet at night. I don't take it during the day because I want to start driving again. So about 7 or 8 o'clock at night, my knee is like screaming at me. So I start taking it and everything hurts at night. So I can get a good night's sleep, and that's what I've been doing. But it causes me not to wake up first thing in the morning. Remember, I used to pop up out of bed 6 o'clock, ready, have my coffee. I was do my show, and yeah, it has not been that way lately. I'm going to be honest with you. And yesterday, I swore it was Wednesday. I was ready for crap with me Wednesday. The desk is cleared off. I was ready to do the watercolors, and my sister comes in and she goes, Rebecca, it's Tuesday. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Yeah, Tuesday. So we're going to do watercolors tonight on Craft With Me Wednesday. I don't know who's calling me. Anyway. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put it on. We got 7 people watching. All right, and people can watch back on the replay. I'm going to add this to the stream. I'm going to start the, I'll go ahead and start the reading of the verdict. Now, I do want to comment ahead of time that Jose Baez is not in the courtroom. Diane Menashe, the other attorney, you'll see her next to William Husel there at the defense table. But Jose Baez, I don't know if he's already in another trial, but what that screen you see in front of you is he will appear for the verdict by Zoom. Good morning, Don. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to go get coffee after this. Can everybody hear? I can't hear it. He might not have his microphone on yet. Yeah, I don't think his microphone's on yet. We'll hear him in a second. Hi, Melissa B. Don't say what the verdict is. I haven't shown it to everybody. Melissa B. Shh. Quiet. We're going to do a reading of the verdict as if it was live, even though it happened an hour ago. This is not new to some of you. It won't be new to Melissa B because she's been following it very closely. Melissa, I was sleeping. Thank you. But yeah, I'm bringing back the replay. It is already an hour old, but I wanted to go ahead and get it up on the channel. And for many of you who aren't sitting there watching YouTube looking for a verdict, you probably will not have seen this yet. So I'm going to go ahead and play. I thought I hit play a minute ago. All right, we're waiting for Baez to come up on the screen that you're seeing in front of us. All of 5 prosecutors are sitting there. 5 prosecutors it took to prosecute this case. Oh my God, funny story. I have a funny story about this case. There's nothing funny about this case. He's accused of murdering 14 patients, but I have an interesting story to tell you after the reading of the verdict. Yeah, his microphone is not on. All right, there's Jose Baez, wherever he is. He may be off, like I said, in another case already. Hi, good morning, Verna. We're going to listen to the reading of the verdict. This happened live about an hour ago, but we're going to do it as if it were live right now. All right, jury's coming in. No, not go back to yet. Good morning, Lisa.
All the way down to the
Good
Amazon
morning.
somewhere
We
there.
are watching the
You guys
reading of
feel
the verdict.
comfortable.
This happened about an hour ago.
You can all be
The jury is coming
seated. I was
into
just
the courtroom
bring you all
now.
since and say been through the trial from the beginning.
Jose Baez is on Zoom.
You can all be seated. I was just bring you all since and say been through the trial from the
He's bringing in the others too. No, I'm not having much luck this morning. Okay, I think I'm back. I am sorry about that, guys. Let me share the screen once again. I lost the internet for a minute. We're in the middle of storms here, so my apologies. So let me get it to where it was.
There should be count 9. We, the jury in this case, lines there with the 4-person exit.
Okay. Boy, drama, guys, drama. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up on the way in or out. I don't deserve it. Technical problems, all kinds of issues since I've been, in and out of the surgery. I'm out of practice. Good morning, Dawn. My knee, actually, it's feeling okay now. I haven't even made the coffee. I've just only been out of bed for a little while. I wasn't even up long enough to turn on the verdict watch and know that they had a verdict first thing this morning. It's almost as if they went home last night. They decided, hey, we're going to go home, and we'll just have them read the verdict tomorrow because we're tired. We're going home because it was first thing this morning. If you guys already know what the verdict is, please keep that to yourself so everyone can hear the live reading of the verdict as it was recorded an hour ago.
Well, that's right, because we have everybody. We're on the top. Give me a second, Joe.
There's one right there. There's one on that up one. There should be 6.
Yeah, there should be 8 and 8.
Try number 2. Let's see if we can get it going here.
Except for the 4-person. It's my understanding you have a verdict.
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Riesel, will you please stand?
For the hearkening of the verdict.
Relative to count 1, we, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled and sworn, find the defendant not guilty as to count 1 of the indictment for murder and not guilty to any lesser offense. Signed by each and every juror. This is the 20th day of April, 2022, and it has the 12 signature lines there with the 4-person designation. Relative to count 2, we, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled and sworn, find the defendant not guilty as to count 2 of the indictment for murder and not guilty as to any lesser offense. Signed by each and every juror. This is the 20th day of April, 2022. There are 12 people's signatures there with 4-person designation. Relative to count 3, we, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled and sworn, find the defendant not guilty as to count 3 of the indictment for murder and not guilty of any lesser included offense. Signed by each and every juror. This is the 20th day of April, 2022, with the 12 signature lines. Relative to count 4, we, the jury in this case, find the defendant not guilty as to count 4 of the indictment for murder and not guilty of any lesser included offense. Signed by each and every juror. This is the 20th day of April, 2022, with the 12 signatures found there with the 4-person designation.
Lisa, you're funny.
Count 5, we, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled and sworn, find the defendant not guilty as to count 5 of the indictment for murder and not guilty of any lesser offense. Signed by each and every juror. This is the 20th day of April, 2022, and it has the 12 signatures present on the document and the 4-person designation. Relative to count 6, we, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled and sworn, find the defendant not guilty as to count 6 of the indictment for murder and not guilty of any lesser offense. Signed by each and every juror. This is the 20th day of April, 2022. It has the 12 signature lines with the 4-person designation. Relative to count 7, we, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled and sworn, find the defendant not guilty as to count 7 of the indictment for murder and not guilty of any lesser offense. Signed by each and every juror. This is the 20th day of April, 2022. 12 signature lines are present and signed with the 4-person designation. Relative to count 8, We, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled and sworn, find the defendant not guilty as to count 8 of the indictment for murder and not guilty of any lesser offense, signed by each and every juror this the 20th day of April, 2022, with the 12 signature lines with the 4-person designation. As to count 9, we, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled, sworn, find the defendant not guilty as to count 9 of the indictment for murder and not guilty of any lesser offense, signed by each and every juror this the 20th day of April, 2022, with 12 signature lines and the 4-person designation. Relative to count 10, we, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled, sworn, find the defendant not guilty as to count 10 of the indictment for murder and not guilty of any lesser offense, signed by each and every juror this the 20th day of April, 2022. 12 signature lines are present, and the 4-person designation is present also. Relative to count 11, we, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled and sworn, find the defendant not guilty as to count 11 of the indictment for murder and not guilty of any lesser offense, signed by each and every juror. This is the 20th day of April, 2022. The 12 signatures are present, along with the 4-person designation. Relative to count 12, we, the jury, in this case, being duly impaneled, sworn, find the defendant not guilty as to count 12 of the indictment for murder and not guilty of any lesser offense, signed by each and every juror. This is the 20th day of April, 2022. 12 signatures are present with the 4-person designation. Relative to count 13, we, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled and sworn, find the defendant not guilty as to count 13 of the indictment for murder and not guilty of any lesser offense, signed by each and every juror. This is the 20th day of April, 2022. 12 signatures are present, along with the 4-person designation. Count 14, we, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled, sworn, find the defendant not guilty as to count 14 of the indictment for murder and not guilty of any lesser offenses, signed by each and every juror. This is the 20th day of April, 2022. 12 signature lines are present with the 4-person designation. Juror Foreman, is this the verdict of the jury?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Okay.
Wow.
Mrs. Iron, do you want to poll?
I do not.
Poll?
No, thank you.
Okay, I want to thank you for your service. We've got some paperwork to discharge you on. I did get an answer to the mystery text yesterday, and I'll explain that to you here in a couple of minutes. I want to thank you for your service. You are now discharged.
All rise.
You know, Verna, you're right. I didn't talk about the nurse. You know, maybe that's the next trial I should do. I should go back and cover her trial, even though it's already occurred. But there was a nurse who was convicted of giving the wrong medication.
Y'all may be seated. For the record, I have the other forms. They're all blank.
Was sentenced to
This
jail.
point in time.
This guy gets away with.
Dr. Huesler, you're now discharged from any conditions of the court. I ask that you kindly check in with pretrial on your way out to make sure that there's no problems or if there's anything that they need to clear up. Okay, but you are now discharged. Okay? Anything else to come before the court?
Okay. Okay.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay. I'm going to go back and talk to them for a minute. Do you guys want to?
Now, I will tell you that Diane Menashe, she's a little emotional. Diane, she's pregnant. So she's early on into a pregnancy. So she's a little emotional. Plus, that woman worked her butt off. She really did. I didn't care for her tactics, but she fought a hard battle. Jose Baez's price tag just went up significantly. So if you're ever charged with a crime and you can afford to hire Jose Baez, money well spent, apparently, because man, oh man, what did you guys think? Yeah, Lisa, AK Rose, that was his lawyer. That was Diane Menashe. She did a lot of the medical cross-examination. Very good, very good. But I think it was the wrong verdict. I think they ignored the fact that, you know, I don't know. Don't get me started. Honest to God, you know, they ignored the fact that these were large large doses. There is nowhere in this world, on this planet, where anybody is giving that kind of dosages of that medicine for any reason. None. You will not find it. And the fact that the jury felt like this, because these people were dying, it was okay. I don't know. I don't agree. Maybe at the zoo. Yeah. Uh, we've had some really weird verdicts lately, haven't we? The popcorn guy got away with murder. This guy gets away with murder. Dawn says, "Oh, please go on." It's exactly what I'm thinking. So this is kind of a funny story. So yesterday I'm scrolling through Facebook and I see a friend of mine, Jim Reed, and he and I were risk managers back in Port Charlotte in Florida. When I still lived in Florida, I was a risk manager. And one of the things that the risk manager does, and the risk manager did take the stand in this William Husel case, is when things are brought to their attention, either through an event report or through word of mouth or at a mention at a meeting, it's her job to follow up on whatever that event is. And in this case, it was the event of Dr. William Husel to, administering these huge doses. And so there was a risk manager involved in this case. So I'm scrolling through, and I used to be a risk manager, and Jim, my friend Jim, he was a risk manager at the sister hospital for, we also worked at hospitals in the same corporation. So we were only like a mile apart. So he would cover for me, I would cover for him. We'd go to meetings, we'd share policies. We were pretty good friends. So I see his name on my Facebook, and one of the pictures that he was posting was the 50th anniversary celebration of Mount Carmel Hospital. And I'm sitting there looking at it going, what? Why would my friend Jim Reed have that on his page? So I remembered going back a few months that he had left Florida, similar to what I did. He moved out of Florida and went back to where he was born and raised. He was born in Mount Carmel Hospital, the very hospital where this thing happened with William Husel, and raised in Mount Carmel, Ohio. So I started to say Florida, Ohio. So I texted him. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'd love to get your your feelings on this case." And so, because apparently he is now working for Mount Carmel Hospital as their risk manager. And I was like, "Oh my God, this is the gift that keeps on giving." So we had a nice discussion. So basically, he knows very little about the case because there was kind of a gag order in the hospital, and he never had anything to do with it anyway. But he said the actual hospital where this occurred was destroyed. They took it down and never rebuilt it. There's other hospitals in the system in that area, but that particular hospital they never rebuilt, is what he was telling me. Well, Dawn, this would never happen to you in the ER. My point is, this would never happen to anyone, anywhere, except if you had this guy as your doctor. And we know that he had never practiced under any other circumstances. He went right out of medical school, right out of residency, into this critical care unit and started giving these heavy doses. Now, I don't know if he was like doing his own study or what he was doing, why he was doing it, what authority he was doing it on. Most of the time when you're in medicine, you do something because it's the usual practice. It's the standard of care. It's what people in your industry with your same background and education are doing. I don't know where he got this from, but clearly the jury felt like it didn't add up to murder. So that's the lesson for today. You can make huge medical mistakes, but they're not willing to call it murder, at least not in the state of Ohio. So So now what hospital would be contracted for? Stay far away. Well, there's lots of these Mount Carmel hospitals. It's because it's a system. It's Mount Carmel hospitals, and they're owned by Trinity Health. Um, so Trinity Health is the parent corporation, and then they have these in this area of Ohio. They have these Mount Carmel hospitals sprinkled here and there. My friend, apparently Jim, he's at one that's like 500 beds, which that's a very, very large hospital. So he's at the largest one, but then there's smaller ones, that probably specialize in different things. There might be a psych hospital. There might be one that specializes in maternity. I don't know, but yeah, there are still Mount Carmel hospitals in Ohio. Now, what trial am I going to cover? Oh my goodness. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up on in or out today, even though we did have technical difficulties. I do love you all. I'm going to be here this evening for Craft With Me Wednesday, where we're going to do some watercolors. Watercolors, guys. If you've got the equipment in your house, the equipment, all you need is a little palette of paints. If you got a cheapo palette, just grab it, get it out, get some paintbrushes, grab some watercolor paper, and we're going to play around with swatching this afternoon while we catch up and chit chat. So unless anybody has any questions, comments, I'm going to go ahead and let you go so I can go make some coffee. Yep. The gal confessed to faking her kidnapping, so no trial for that now. Oh, did she change her? But did she change her verdict to not guilty? Because she had entered a not guilty. I didn't even know if she was arraigned on it yet. So yesterday they arraigned Lori Daybell, and interesting turn of events. The Chad and Lori Daybell trial was set for January, and Chad Daybell had moved to have those trials severed. Lori and Chad Daybell are accused of murdering her children, and for money. And they were part of this doomsday religious cult that he had written these books, and she had read the books and fallen in love with him. So they get married. Her kids all of a sudden disappear. They're found buried in his backyard. So she had been sort of out of the picture because she had been declared not competent to stand trial. But day before yesterday, or earlier, maybe Monday this week, or even late last week, I don't even know what day of the week it is anymore. They had come back and said, yes, she is now competent to stand trial. So the judge had already said that Chad Daybell's motion to sever the trials because they never knew when she was going to become competent was moot, and that he wanted the trials tried together and they would leave the date set for January. So yesterday was her arraignment. She had never been arraigned on those murder charges because those were charges that were added later on. So she gets in and she doesn't say anything. She exercises her right to remain silent, in which case the judge enters a verdict of not guilty for her, or not a verdict. He enters the plea of not guilty for her. And then he asked her attorney, are you going to waive your right to a speedy trial? Because every defendant has the right to a speedy trial. And in the state of Idaho, where this trial is going to be taking place, that means if you don't waive it, if you say, no, I want a speedy trial, the judge has to set your trial to occur within 6 months, 180 days, which would mean that he'd have to try that case before October. So now they're playing around with the dates because she didn't want to waive her right to a speedy trial because he does want to try these cases together. So instead of a January trial date for that case, we may be looking at an October date for trial. And the prosecution has asked for 6 weeks to try this case. So that's going to be a really, really interesting case coming up. Hi, Katrina. Welcome. Hi, Max. So that's the next major trial that, coming down the pike. There's other ones. I'll find another one to cover for you. But I'm going to see you guys tonight. Take care, everybody. I'm on my way to get coffee. I'm running to the kitchen. Yep. Bye, everybody. Take care.